tight on me. So got something a little bit different for you tonight. Abby is going to interview me for my birthday. Normally I'm interviewing the kids, but she asked yesterday if she could interview me instead. So here we are. We're going to give it a go. You excited?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bear with us for just a couple minutes and we'll get right into it. I had all of these links shared and then my live stream died, so we're going to see if we can get it going here quickly again.
Yeah. And it won't shut off again.
Yeah, hopefully it won't shut off again. Okay. All right, we have a few people back on here, so that's good.
Okay, good.
Is there anything you want to talk to them about while I'm doing this?
No.
No? Why don't you tell them a little bit about why you wanted to do this? Because why?
Because I like to stay up late.
You just wanted to stay up late? That's the only reason, huh?
Kind of. Kind of the only reason.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. I don't really know.
Oh my goodness. Something seems to be wrong with YouTube here.
What's wrong with your computer and your phone and YouTube?
Sorry, guys.
Can anybody guess what this says?
Can you guys guess what that is? We just made it
Yesterday.
yesterday. I don't think we need to be right in my face, though.
It's a ditto. It's a ditto Steppy. And it can be used as a pillow. And it's cute. Very cute.
All right, one more to share. I had all this set up. It was like the first time I had everything perfect. And then as soon as I started the stream, it died. And it wouldn't let me restart it. So we got to do it all again. I'm sorry, guys. We'll get into it here shortly. I promise.
Yeah, we will. What's that thingy on top of the screen of your phone? Oh, it went away. Bye.
Okay, now we got everything shared. The last one is saving. If you guys want to share this, that would be cool as well. We got 9 people on here watching already, so that's awesome. I'm going to just give us the preface again because I'm going to delete all this off the video after the fact. But we have a little bit different live stream for you tonight. Abby yesterday asked if she could interview me for my birthday. Normally, I interview the kids for their birthdays, and so I asked people on Facebook if they would give us some questions that then Abby could ask me tonight. You excited about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. You said earlier you wanted to do this. Why?
I don't know.
You said because you wanted to stay up late.
Yeah, plus I like to talk.
And you like to talk. We'll see
Yeah.
how much you like to talk, because you always say you like to talk, but then we get in interviews and then you don't want to talk.
Wrong.
All right, so we're going to get right into the questions. If you guys have any other questions, just go ahead and put them in the comments. We'll try to get them at the end. I'm going to try to answer quickly. Normally, I edit these videos when I interview the kids. They start out there like half an hour, and then I interview them down to like 10 minutes, or I edit them down to like 10 minutes, so we'll see how it goes. Can you read the
Yeah.
first one? From Rana.
What is your favorite meal?
So my favorite meal right now, I think my favorite meal is it's shifted over the years. So I would have said something like pizza or mac and cheese when I was little. Now I like to eat out of the garden, and I like to eat stuff that we've grown. Or stuff that friends have grown. So I think my favorite meal now is to make my own steak on the grill, and homemade bread, and salad from the garden. And if I can get a meal that's like that, that's all stuff that we've made ourselves, that's my favorite. Next one?
Yeah.
From Rana again.
If money was not
No object.
no object, where in the world would he like to visit the most and why?
So where would I like to visit?
And why?
And why, yeah. So if money was no object, let me just preface this by saying money is definitely not the object at this point. It's children and time. So there's a lot of places I would like to go, but because we have 4 younger children and because my time is pretty strapped, I'm not planning to go anytime soon. But I think where I would like to go the most would be to like tour Europe. Just about every single country in Europe I would like to go visit. Specifically, like I'd like to do one southern trip where you go across France, Italy, Greece, Spain, and then maybe a northern trip where you go to Norway, Sweden, Germany, Austria.
Sweden.
Yeah, I'd love to go to all those places. So
Sweden.
that's my greatest desire, but I would love to travel lots of places in the world. There's a lot of Asian countries I'd like to visit. I have missionary friends in different places that I'd like to go visit and see the different works that God is doing across the globe. So all those things would be cool. So I guess that's why.
Okay.
I just like to try new food and I like to go different places. So I'm pretty much happy traveling anywhere.
Ooh, the next question is Miss Vicky.
Miss Vicky, she says what?
What do you love about Mommy?
Okay, Mommy. I love lots of things about Mommy.
Yeah.
I think some of the things that I love the most about Mommy is the way that she loves you guys. The way she cares for you is pretty fantastic. She's a wonderful homeschool teacher, and she's getting better all the time. I probably like some of my favorite things about her are the way that she balances me out. Because Daddy is kind of like crazy and go-getter all the time. And Mom is not so much that way. So she reins me in when I need to be. And she is very, very organized and diligent, which I am less so. Like she is very, like has to have everything in the right spot. And that's not really me. I'm organized, but it's more of like a organized chaos. So I'm glad that Mom likes a clean house because it would probably be messier if it was just me. Is that funny?
Yeah.
Okay, you gonna do the next one?
Yeah.
So this is from Sandy. What'd she say?
What does Dad want to be when he grows up? He's already grown up.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to grow up more, right?
No.
Well, someday I aspire, like my dream job, I think, is like to be a market gardener or like just have a homestead that is self-sufficient. So someday when I retire, I'd like to do that and then just have all the time in the world to just preach about Jesus. So. But I have like a city revitalization thing that you guys might have heard about that I'm pretty focused on right now. So once Kittanning is actually named greatest city in the world by everybody else, then I'll move on to something different. Sound good?
Yum.
Next one. Well, this is kind of the same. Sandy said if Dad had wings and could fly anywhere in the world, where would he go? So I think I kind of answered that already. I'd go traveling. Let's see. You want to read this one?
Who's it from?
From Diane.
Hey, didn't you skip one?
I did, but that wasn't a question for me. So let's do this one.
Chrissy
No. What?
was so
Listen, read this question.
What made Dad want to
Leave.
leave
Minnesota,
Minnesota for, I don't know.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
So I wanted to leave Minnesota for Pennsylvania for a few reasons. Mostly though, I was just like, I was young. I had made a lot of like, I felt trapped, I guess. So I felt like I was trapped in a lot of different things in Minnesota. And I was just running was probably the primary reason why I came to Pennsylvania. I wanted something new, something different. I loved Pittsburgh. I visited Pittsburgh a couple times, and I really enjoyed it here. And I thought that I could come out and make a new life in Pittsburgh. I had an aunt and uncle that lived here, so it made a lot of sense for me financially because I didn't have to pay anything. They were willing to let me live with them, and so I just came out on a whim. I was like a week away from starting school at the University of North Dakota, and I gave up all of my prepayments for them and left. Came to Pennsylvania, and I never looked back. I was just talking the other day. Next year, when I turn 36, I will have lived in Pennsylvania as long as I lived in Minnesota, which is kind of crazy to me. So I guess next year I'll be officially Pennsylvanian. I won't be Minnesotan anymore.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Next one.
What's next?
From Donna, right here. You gotta sit up so they can see your
What
face.
is Daddy's favorite dessert?
My favorite dessert.
Your favorite dessert is probably the one we had for your birthday. Chocolate German cupcakes. Probably.
German chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my two favorite cakes. I like that one, and then I like it's called a grasshopper cake. It's like a pineapple, coconut, cream cheese cake.
That sounds yummy.
It's really good. So I like that a lot. I just like dessert, period. Anyone that's gone to church with us for any period of time, you guys know my passion for dessert. So I love cheesecake. I love cookies, just about all kinds of cookies. I'm kind of famous for my love of Oreo cookies. So yeah, I just like dessert. My dream, as everyone knows, is to have an all dessert potluck. We almost pulled it off a couple months ago. So anyways, next
Daddy,
question.
Can I tell you something?
Sure, what?
Another question.
You gotta ask loud.
Another question.
Yes. You gotta go a little faster.
And why? And remember that question that you said? Why do you like? It said, why do you like mommy?
Yeah.
And why of those answers do you know what I mean?
Which one do I like the best about mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. The best I like about her is that she balances me out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Okay.
And Daddy, guess what?
What?
I love almost every kind of chocolate.
Do you?
Yeah.
Chocolate's pretty great.
Yeah, especially the dark chocolate.
All right, this one's from Diane.
Diane again. Who is your favorite band or
Musician.
musician?
Yeah, so I think right now, over the last couple of years, I've really loved Upper Room Dallas, and so they're like a worship band for a church in Dallas. So I really enjoy their worship music. And then Maverick City Music is like a little offshoot of Upper Room Dallas, and they have some fantastic music that they've been putting out over the past few months. So that's my favorite band right now. But what else do I like to listen to? Classical.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like.
And you like that one that you sang at church today.
Yeah.
That
I
first
Thank God.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really like that
So
one.
I Thank God is a song by Maverick City Music. So if you haven't heard that one yet, go look it up. It's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
All right, next one. Well, I guess this says, what is your favorite thing to do with Daddy? So that's the question for you, but I'm going to flip it on its head. Is that okay? So I'm gonna say, what's my favorite thing to do with the kids? Can we do that?
Yeah.
So my favorite thing to do with the kids, I like to go to the store. I like to do that kind of stuff with them.
And go to the coffee shop.
Yeah, I like to go do new experiences with them. So if we can go to a museum or go to a store or go to a new restaurant, I think that's my favorite thing to do with them. And then around the house, we like to do different projects. So if we can do like a building project outside, like last year when we built the chicken tractor and we built the chicken brooder and the greenhouse, I like to do those kinds of projects and include them if I can. You like to do that stuff too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the greenhouse didn't do so good. It was too hot in it.
You always say the greenhouse didn't
With
do
the
so good.
plants.
It did okay.
It was pretty hot in there.
It was super hot in the summer. Next one. You read this one?
Where is that?
I'm highlighting them for you.
What,
This is from Terry.
what
Yeah.
is
Can you get your hand off your mouth?
Daddy's favorite movie?
My favorite movie.
Probably Narnia. That's probably one of your favorites.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That might be my favorite.
It
I like the-
definitely is. Cool.
I used to really love movies, a lot of like worldly movies. So I had a lot of movies that are not like kid appropriate. So, but I've gotten rid of most of those at this point in time. So now it'd be like maybe like Lord of the Rings and Narnia. I like those kinds of movies. Like
What's Lord of the Rings?
you'll find out soon enough, I'm sure. You're still a little bit too young, but I was thinking maybe we could read those books pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah, because you love Narnia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it kind of like Narnia.
kind of. Just a little bit more intense.
Is there Aslan in there?
No Aslan. Nope.
Is there a king like Aslan in there?
Kind of. Not really like Aslan, though.
There's a king in there.
Nobody's as good as Aslan.
Yeah, there's a king.
All right, next one.
Chad,
Chad, yeah.
if you could have one superpower, just one, what would it be, Daddy?
So, superpower. I don't know. That's such a tricky one for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd want to like control time or something probably. I never feel like I have enough time. Or maybe super speed would be good.
Yeah.
So I could get things done faster.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird thing because I know I have a problem already with trying to pack too many things in a day, and maybe that would just make my problem worse. I don't know. It's a hard question. We got to move on. Next one.
Mama would probably want speed.
You think Mom would want speed too?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
It's from Chad.
From Chad again. Yep.
What was Daddy's most embarrassing moment?
So my most embarrassing moments, once again, are all not kid friendly. I used to do a lot of silly things when I was younger, so we won't get into all of those. But I think like the one that like sticks out in my mind from grade school was my voice changed in like between 8th and 9th grade, and I used to have a really, really high voice, and then I got a really low voice. And so the voice change for me was super awkward, and my voice would crack all the time. And I can remember I was a new kid in school, in Perham High School in Minnesota. It was like my first week in school, and like the very first thing that came out of my mouth in civics class in 9th grade, and it was just this big voice crack. And it was like, I just remember being super embarrassed about it. So that's like one that comes to mind. There's a lot of other ones, once again, that are not PG friendly, but if you're curious, you can direct message me. Next one.
Who's it from?
From Linda.
What did you have as a child that kids today don't have?
So what did I have that kids today don't have? Respect. No, I'm just kidding. I had no respect either, so.
Okay.
My kids are actually probably way more respectful than I was, which is great. We have wonderful children.
Yeah.
What do we really have that you didn't have today? I don't know, because I'm kind of starting to introduce them to a lot of the things that I had as a child. So, but I guess one thing for sure is I can remember growing up, I had a lot more freedom, and my parents and grandparents could just let me go do things without having to be concerned about what would happen to me. We had like the full run of town in Holly, Minnesota, essentially. We just go on our bikes, disappear for the majority of the day, and come back at the end of the day. So we'd go to the swimming pool by ourselves. We would go, you know, just all over town by ourselves and go off and do different things. And no one was ever concerned about that. I I can't imagine we would ever do that with our kids at this point in time. Um, Maybe as they get older, but like I was Abby's age and was able to go do a lot of that stuff, which is unthinkable to me right now. So that's probably the biggest one is a lot more freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Lori has a few questions for us.
Is Daddy wanting
Yeah.
any more kids?
Do I want more kids? What do you think? Yeah. I'll take more kids anytime.
Yeah.
Does mommy want more kids? That's the more important question.
No.
Nope, she's all done.
Yeah, she's all done.
So
We already have 4.
So daddy's done too, probably. All right. Next one she asked. Next one.
Who's it from?
These are all from Lori.
Oh. Where does
You gotta
Daddy,
come up so they can see your face.
Where does Daddy see himself in 5 years?
So 5 years from now will be 2026. According to our Kittanning 300 plan, we will be in our final phases of making Kittanning the greatest city in the world. So that's what I'll be focused on. It'll be like driving forward and completing all of our goals. So we'll be eliminating blight. We'll be seeing addiction numbers dropping to 0, addiction overdose deaths dropping to 0. We're going to see people being set free in Jesus' name all across our city. We're going to have a really effective and efficient local government, which that's maybe the hardest one to believe and say with a serious face. And we're going to have a full downtown in Kittanning. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are all the things that we're going to be lasered in on. And then we're going to be focused on a celebration in 2027. And then after that, I have no idea. I don't know what God has in store for me beyond that. I don't even know if he's going to have us still in Armstrong County. I literally have no idea what happens after 2027. I do believe fully that he has me here until at least then. And after that, I'm open to whatever God wants to do with my life. So whether that's in Kittanning or somewhere else or, whatever it might be, that's where I'll be at. It'll be a transition. It'll be 1 year away from a transition moment in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next one from Lori as well.
Daddy gonna make a worship CD of if so, what will he be the head singer?
So it said, is Daddy going to make a worship CD? And if so, will he be the head singer? I mean, it's been a dream of mine that we would like make a Living Water worship CD, especially of the songs that that we've written between Kim and I, and some songs that we had from Joe Griffith. So, I mean, we have probably 3/4 of a CD worth of songs. I would love to do that. I don't think I need to be the head singer, though. We should probably get someone with more talent than me to do it.
What about me?
You gonna do it?
Yeah.
Maybe by the time we finish up the album, we'll let you sing on it. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. I'd love to do that someday. I guess it's not a dream of mine, but I do feel like some of the music that we've made needs to be like out in the world. The rest of the world needs to be able to experience it.
Yeah.
We already answered this one about birthday cake, but my favorite ice cream, I love just plain vanilla ice cream, and then I love like Blizzard style stuff. So anything with like
Snickers.
Yeah, anything with chocolate candy bars or cookie dough. I haven't run into too many ice creams I don't like. I'll just put it that way. All right, this one's from Evan. You read that?
My friend Evan?
No, a different Evan.
Oh. Did you play any sports in Minnesota?
Yes, I did play sports.
I think you played Steelers.
Steelers?
I mean, what was it?
Football?
Yeah.
I played football until 8th grade, and then I had a couple abdominal surgeries, which God was probably saving me from myself. So I wasn't allowed to play football anymore, and I switched to tennis, and I became a pretty good tennis player. I was the number one tennis player by the time I finished high school in our town, but our town wasn't super great at tennis, so that only made me like I was a very average number one player when it came to like our region, and there were people in our state that were just way, way, way better than me. So, but I became a pretty decent tennis player. Then after I right before I got to know Jesus, actually, I kind of fell in love with soccer as a sport, watching it, and then also starting to play it. So, like I would still love to have a pickup soccer game in Kittanning. I just don't know anyone else who plays soccer. So.
You know that I play soccer.
I don't know any adults that play soccer. You're getting there. You're getting there.
Yeah.
You got all offended there for a minute.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is from Sharon. You want to read this one? Oh, wait. There's a question later about sports that Dell asked if I was any good at sports. So she wrote some different ones. Basketball, I'm terrible. Baseball, I was okay, like probably slightly below average. Soccer, I was decent at. Football, I was actually a pretty good football player. I just was not. I didn't have the size for it. Lacrosse, never played lacrosse in my entire life. So that gives you an idea.
What's the cross?
I'll show you later. I can't even explain it.
I'm good at basketball.
Okay, ready? This one's from Sharon.
What is on
one
of your dad's favorite childhood or memories?
So my favorite childhood memories. I have lots of good childhood memories, to be perfectly honest. A lot that we already talked about with the freedom. You know, I like my friends and I, we would play football all the time. I mean, that's just all we did was play football in the front yard. And so I have a lot of memories about playing two-hand touch football in the front and, just playing from morning till night. It's just all we did. Riding bikes with friends. I have a lot of memories with my grandfather, which I'm planning to make a video about. He's the one that just passed away a couple months ago. So we have, a lot of those memories too. But I had a really good childhood, to be perfectly honest. So it's full of good memories, both with my mom, with my dad, all my grandparents. I just had a really fantastic family. So a lot of people that I miss because I don't live near a lot of them.
Daddy.
But I get to pass down a lot of those good memories to the kids. I guess one more. Can I do one more?
What?
Before you talk?
Yeah.
So my grandma, this is another good memory. My grandma would always make cocoa wheats for me on Saturday mornings when I was a kid. We always had cocoa wheats and toast. It was my favorite meal of all time. And now all of my kids on their birthday, what do you guys ask for? Cocoa wheats. It took me like 3 years to like perfect making cocoa wheats the same as my grandmother makes them. And but I feel at this point that I can make them every bit as good as grandma, which makes me really happy inside because I know that they're getting the same memories that I have. What were you gonna say?
Watch this. Did you see it?
I did. Next one.
Who's it from?
From Rosie.
If Dad could change one thing about his life, what would it be?
That's a good question. So if I could change one thing about my life, what would it be? I'm assuming, like, I'm trying not to do something ridiculous, because if I just had, a couple $1 million, that would be super helpful. I could just accomplish a lot of my goals a lot faster. But I don't think that's really the one. I guess what I'd like to change most about my life, what frustrates me the most about myself, is the fact that I can go through part of my day sometimes without thinking about what God wants me to do, or thinking about, or considering Him in all of my actions. So I think that's my number one thing, is if I could just make my mind always focus on what God wants me to do, I think my life would go a lot smoother. And so I'm just trying to make that a more active part of my life. So hopefully that's an okay answer. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine is a good thing.
All right. Let's look at some comments here before we continue. I don't know if we have any on here, but I don't want to neglect anybody. Let's see. You're such a silly. All right, so a lot of people wishing me happy birthday. Aaron says, I think someone enjoys the camera. I wonder who that would be.
Me.
You. Okay, that's good. Okay, there's Lori. Says, you just answered one of my questions. Okay. No one else is asking any other questions. I appreciate all the birthday wishes, you guys. Thank you very much. What are you doing? I just saw on the side out of the side of my eyes here. Quit putting your fingers in your nose. No more. Gosh. Okay, we got just a few questions left, and we got to wrap this thing up. We're at 30 minutes already. So Dell, she has a lot of short questions to finish us up. Do you want me to read them, or you want to read them?
Me.
Okay, go ahead. So Dell asked this one. These are all from Dell from here on out.
Tell us about the day you
Proposed
to Mommy.
Okay, so the day I proposed to your mom, we were visiting Kittanning. Earlier in the day, we were actually at a training in Greensburg. And so I had the ring in my pocket, and we came to Kittanning. We were going to go hiking, and we did that. And we started out in Kittanning Borough, and we were going to hike all the way out to Buttermilk Falls. I didn't realize at the time how far that was. And so we parked at Sheets, and we were walking. And we were like a mile down the road, and we were still in Kittanning. I was like, this is crazy. When are we going to get into the wilderness? And so I was all nervous. And so I said, well, let's just go back. And we went back, we got in the car, and we drove up to Buttermilk, to the trailhead. And then we walked in, and we got to the Buttermilk Falls, and there was like 1 million people there. Not really. There was probably only like 5 people there. But I didn't feel comfortable doing it in front of anybody else. So we walked back, and there's a little side trail on Buttermilk Trail. And we went down there, and we were out on the middle of a big rock, and that's where I asked your mom to marry me. So we were right just a couple miles from our house here on near Buttermilk Falls in Kittanning. And so it was like